The civilization of the Dwarves is built on a rigid and unyielding code of honor. Oaths and promises must be kept, no matter the personal cost. To the Dwarves, a promise does not die with an oathmaker, nor treachery die with an oathbreaker. Across the remains of their empire, millions commit themselves to the fulfillment of the words of their ancestors, lest they bring disgrace upon their clan. A broken oath is a great shame that few dwarves can live with, and there is but one source of redemption. Those with no hope left for an honorable life must take a solemn vow to seek out an honorable death. They will forswear the fellowship and comforts of family, clan, and hold, and instead pursue a life of self-imposed exile, a life within the Slayer cult. Any who wish to take the Slayer vow must travel to the stronghold of Karak Kadrin, located in the northernmost reaches of the World's Edge Mountains. Within lies the Shrine of Grimnir, dwarven ancestor god of war and courage. All Slayers must dedicate themselves to Grimnir, vowing to seek out a mighty doom so that their dishonor might be erased. To mark their commitment, they shave their hair into a great crest made stiff by animal fat, and dye it a bright orange or red. They forsake all their possessions, even armor, save an axe, the weapon of a slayer. Their bodies are adorned by intricate tattoos, thought to invoke the favor of Grimnir and ensure an honorable death. Before they depart, they carve a name upon a pillar within the shrine, where it will rest beside the names of all the Slayers that have come before. A Slayer will never speak of what act of terrible shame led them to take their vow, for to do so would only bring further dishonor. They are reclusive loners, even amongst their own kin, not given to song and feasting as is traditional across their race. They roam the world in search of increasingly dangerous foes, shunned and despised by all but a few. Only within Karak Kadrin will a Slayer be always welcomed. Often called the Slayer's Keep, Karak Kadrin guards an important trading route through the World's Edge Mountains. It has grown to become a wealthy trading center, the largest and most powerful dwarf kingdom in the region. It has been besieged countless times across the millennia, and any Slayer within its halls will receive lodging, food, hospitality, and perhaps the chance at a mighty death. Following the tradition of his ancestors, the king of Karak Kadrin must take the Slayer's oath himself. Bound by his duties as a monarch forever, the Slayer King will rarely be afforded the chance to die in combat, and will instead fulfill his oath by providing for other Slayers. It was the first Slayer King, Baragor, who founded the Shrine of Grimnir and welcomed all Slayers to his realm. So respected by his people was Baragor, that whatever shame drove him to take the oath has been forgotten, passed down instead in secret from one Slayer King to the next, until one can finally make atonement. The current Slayer King, Ungrim Ironfist, has left much of the governance of Karak Kadrin to Queen Ulrika, instead waging an almost constant war against the dwarves' many enemies. His campaigns have made Ironfist one of the greatest dwarven generals in memory, but his mighty death still eludes him. While the nature of the Slayer cult precludes any type of strict hierarchy, an informal ranking system exists across its members. The status of a Slayer is dictated by deed. The larger or more deadly the foe they have slain, the greater the respect afforded by their peers. Slayer ranks, such as they are, take the names of the creatures they have vanquished. Troll Slayers are the most common form of Slayer, for to die at the hands of anything less than a troll might be considered a form of suicide rather than a heroic death. Should a Slayer have the misfortune of defeating one or more trolls, then it is believed that Grimnir has decreed his shame too great to be atoned for so easily. Giant Slayers set their sights on larger, more dangerous prey, seeking out the greatest monsters of the world. Should they be unlucky enough to survive these encounters, Giant Slayers will often become prone to depression, mood swings, and bouts of alcoholism. When the stress of being continually denied a death at the hands of lesser creatures becomes too much, a Slayer will engage in a ritual involving self-inflicted scarring. This gives expression to the Slayer's growing sense of self-loathing, but also symbolizes their dedication to following the mythical exploits of Grimnir. Through this, they become Dragon Slayers. Not all who hunt dragons find death, either because most dragons are too rare to easily find, or because their martial skill has been honed to a razor's edge, and even a dragon cannot kill them. Convinced more than ever that the ancestor gods have denied them the release of death, they will follow the final steps of Grimnir, traveling into the Chaos Wastes to embark upon the path of a demon slayer. Fully enveloped by madness, most believe they have been selected by Grimnir to help seal the Polar Gate, the wound within reality from which all chaos spouts. Of those who travel north, none return, save one. Karak Kadrin is the greatest failure of a slayer to have ever lived. His travels have taken him across the known world, and despite the record number of foes that have died upon his axe, none have given him the release of death. His axe may be the cause of his repeated failures. Recovered during an excursion into the Chaos Wastes, it supposedly once belonged to Grimnir himself. An elven mage, given the chance to examine the weapon and its bearer, is said to have determined that the axe is slowly changing Karak into something greater than an ordinary dwarf. Although what that might be, and for what terrible purpose, remains unknown. The Templin Institute investigates alternate worlds both here on YouTube and on Twitch. Join us tonight, where Mark and myself will be fighting beneath the Empire of Man against cultists of the ruinous powers in Warhammer Chaosbane. If you missed it or want to catch any of our other streams, you can find them all in the Templin archives. Links to both the archives and our Twitch channel can be found in the description.